Hi, I'm Joe Locke.
And I'm Kit Connor.
And this is GQ Action Replay of Heartstopper Season 1.
The idea was that my hair was gonna look kind of sexy, kind of cool. And it ended up kind of going in this weird way where it looks like there's a sort of spider on my head because of the sort of single strands of hair. This should be like the sort of Ryan Gosling in The Notebook, and instead it's sort of Charlotte's Web kind of vibes. Reading the script and looking at the comics, I was like, yeah, Nick looks cool. Nick looks cool.
When he would run, he had to wear these like wetsuits underneath his costume so he wouldn't get like wet and cold. He's like squelching.
Oh, yeah. Well, because we were obviously, because it's a rain machine, which is kind of like a sprinkler.
You spent the whole day getting soaked.
All the way up.
No one actually kisses like that.
No one really kisses like that, you know, and it's a very sort of interesting thing, especially because that was our first one. You can't really watch it without feeling like, yeah, this is a win. You know, we wanted to make sure that it looked good, and that was the main thing, even though we were both freezing.
Yeah. I think it did get to a point in the day where I was like, I literally don't care, I'm so cold right now.
Heartstopper as a show is a rose-tinted spectacle view of life, and it's how we really wish that life was in many ways, I think. The portrayal of the characters in general is in many ways very true to life. Just the idea of Nick Nelson as a character, the idea that he's sort of the person that no one expects to be anything other than straight.
You got a haircut.
Is it bad?
No, it looks great.
That was sort of one of the first points where he just opens the door and thinks, wow, that's a pretty human being right in front of me. And I think when I was playing that scene, I was kind of trying to have that layer of kind of confusion, but also just an overwhelming feeling of, wow, that's
not really hard when you're working with.
When I'm working with someone as beautiful as Joe Locke, it's very easy. But also there's that moment where he sort of slightly slips up and goes, your hair looks great.
Yeah. No, it looks great.
I don't think as many people notice that as kind of...
Yeah.
I thought it would be really obvious, but I think quite a lot of people sort of, that went straight over their heads.
Heartstopper, it's sort of, I always see it as it tackles real world, real issues through an optimistic lens. Like you can always see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm sure that we'll continue to do that.
What would you say the most fun scene to shoot was?
Probably like one of the days we were all together and like could just have fun. Maybe Milkshake.
Well, then it's not boring then.
Why'd you agree to come if you thought it would be boring?
Because I'm a very nice and supportive friend, obviously.
No, he came for the milkshakes and the milkshakes only.
I said that to you in confidence.
I see that Milkshake and I just instantly feel a little bit sick.
I've got to say, these milkshakes were the most disgusting things I've ever had. The first one was okay. They refilled it each time for continuity with water.
And I think we all made the novice actor's mistake, not that you're a novice, but like the classic actor's mistake of drinking loads in the first take, which means that you then have to drink loads every take.
There's a fight in episode, I think it's episode 7.
It is.
Between Nick and Harry, and he's kind of one of the main antagonists. And there was one point where I throw Cormac, who plays Harry, into the wall, and the wall broke. We made a hole in the wall, and I felt like I'm a superhero. I was like, oh God, this is really obviously, it was a really, really hollow wall.
Aw, you're getting so angry. You can't help wanting to protect him, can you?
It was that one.
Crack.
We broke the wall, and I felt just like a superhero. Anyway, Cormac's great in that scene. Real sort of very hateable and just an awful human being. The opposite of Cormac, obviously, but he plays it brilliantly. I think it's also just a very important moment in Nick's sort of character arc, in that he really realises that these people are not good people. There are many, many ways to view masculinity in Heartstopper. The idea that you can tell someone's sexuality based on the way they look, the way that they talk, the way that they walk, the way that they dress is quite frankly ridiculous. And it's really quite harmful. Heartstopper, one of the strong messages that it sends is the fact that to do that is frankly wrong.
So, Joe, I heard you in interviews before that you said that this was one of your favorite scenes.
This is my favorite scene.
Can you just explain why?
It's just, I remember reading it in the script for the first time and it made me cry. I made them show it to me in ADR when I was doing my ADR because I wanted to see it, and it made me cry again. It's only just after watching about 25 times that I can stop myself crying when I watch the scene. I just think Kit does such a wonderful job, and it's just very, 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 very sweet.
Thank you.
Oh, baby.
I'm literally tearing up.
Pause it now. She's so good. She's
good.
really,
You're so
really
good.
No, but honestly, being able to do that scene with Olivia Colman was an honour, and she is so unbelievably, effortlessly talented. I think that scene is like such an important scene in the show, especially. Like, it was kind of the point where I really circled it in my script and was like, this is what I want to get right, and if I get everything else wrong, and if I do a rubbish job, at least if I do this one right, then I'll be happy. Still to this date, one of the most sort of emotional moments for me in my career is hearing on Twitter, hearing something so wonderful as a fan reaching out and saying that they used this scene to come out to their parents. You can't really sort of put words to it. It's quite an extraordinary feeling to have that, be able to have that kind of effect on a person's life and give them the confidence and the comfort to do that. And I've also since then heard other people doing similar things, and you know, each time it's as insane to me and just as emotional each time.
Aww. I went back to school after we finished shooting, and when I went back to school, they had like an LGBT group who meet up on a Monday after school in the library, and there were so many people there, and they were saying that like Heartstopper has helped lots of younger people in my own school feel more confident in who they are. And I think to be a part of something that has affected people so like close to home is just so wonderful. And like out of what I ever expected.
And recently we were able to walk London Pride, and that was one of the most extraordinary sort of feelings in my life. It felt pretty incredible.
Thank you so much for watching this wonderful video.
Thank you for watching us watch us.
Yeah?
Yeah.
See you next time.
See you next time.